Hey y'all. So I ain't done with these videos in a minute, right? I just been in transition, been being obedient, right? Been listening to God. I've been being rare, y'all. Rari is for rarity. Because I just be like, I don't know, Lord, like why we gotta do this, right? But if he say do it, then we do it. So here we are. So since I've been back in Orlando, right? I've gone back to two churches in the Orlando area, right? And I believe the Lord brought me back home to fully heal me from some of the things of my past, right, that I had to let go of, that I had to learn how to deal with, that I had to sit in, right? And a lot of the situations were very uncomfortable. But when God tells you to sit, you got to sit, right? And so I had to sit in them so that I can deal with me, right? So I can heal myself from within. Because where God is calling me, I had a lot of healing that needed to be done, right? And I still got more healing that I need to work on, and that I am working on. This being one of them. Anywho, and so I I thank him for knowing what I needed when I needed it, even though I didn't know I needed it, right? And so I'm grateful for him bringing me back, right? I'm grateful for the way he did it, because I'm definitely like I just gotta see it to believe it, right? Kind of situation. And if he didn't do it the way he did it, I wouldn't have gotten what I needed to be able to do what he is asking me to do, right? And so I definitely give God glory and honor for what he's done in my life, what he's doing in my life, what he will continue to do in my life, and just how he has allowed me to transform the way I see it now than when I seen it before, right? And so, like I said, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for God just loving me the way he loves me, right? So, so I went back to one of the churches that I know in town, and you know, I attended the church, and I listened to the word, and I heard God. Like everything that I dealt with during the week, or he had spoken to me during the week, it was confirmed on the Sunday message that I wasn't crazy, right? Because there was a time where I just was like I know that, right? Like he just dealt with me on that, but then I was just like, nah, people gonna think I'm crazy, right? Because I'm not one to just be in church all the time, right? Like that ain't that. I mean, I used to, but not no more, right? Like, so I go to church when he tells me to go to church, when he leads me to a church, right? And so, so when I came back, that was the first church he led me to. So I listened, and then he sent me on an assignment. I was like, what? Who said who? What now? You want me to go do say what now? And so I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I'm terrified because as a leader, I was like, I ain't gonna do this. Like I don't know if you know who I am. And he's like, yeah, just go ahead and do it, right? And so I did it, right? And then me being a babe in this sanctification, this walk of sanctification, like fully surrendering your life to Christ, right? I legit was thinking like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be obedient, and then like quick turnaround, like right, like God's gonna do it right then, and then bam, we gonna see it. And he had to show me. He was like, no, girl, stop playing. And so I was like, okay, right. And so I had to get, you know what I'm saying, like I had to learn, navigate through all of the, you know, ups and downs and the things and the changes and, you know, just everything, right? And so so I was obedient, right? And I went and I, you know, and I fulfilled the assignment, right? And I learned how to walk in obedience, and then just let not expect the harvest in the moment, right? But just plant the seed, right? And so he so he taught me seed and harvest time, right, for real in real life, which came with some patience, right, because if I don't see it now, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means that it's being watered, right? And so so he took me to that, right? I had to learn that. And then while he's taking me on these assignments, he is showing me, right? He's showing me he's showing me two things about me. He's showing me the side of where he knows I could be, right? He's showing me the potential of what I could be, right? Of what I am going to be, right? But also at the same time, he's also showing me, y'all, because this is how good he is. He is also showing me how to die to me so that I can be the me he knows I'm going to be, right? And so, that he's just so good like that. And so every assignment he sent me on, it just showed me that as long as I just am obedient to him, and I die to myself, I die to my flesh in order to be obedient to him, so that he can show me the potential of who I can be or who I am going to be, right? And so so the first assignment was a little hard. It wasn't a little hard, it was a little like it was a little nerve-wracking, only because I had to speak to a leader of the church, right? It involved a leader of the church. And so I was like, because I respect protocol, and I just try and stay in my lane, and I'm a pew member, right? And so I just be like, but I sit in the back. I don't know that they want to hear from me, and that's how I be, but anyway, so I was obedient, okay? And so in that obedience, right, it just opened me up to some different things, right, about myself that I needed to deal with, right, so that I could be who he is calling me to be. And so I'm still dealing. I'm not dealing with, but I'm still hesitant, y'all, about speaking to leaders, because I'm like, God, I feel like they ought to know, like, what you want to tell, like you want me to tell them something that I feel like they already know, right? But then I got to be like, okay, but if you're telling me to tell them that, right, then apparently they don't know, or they know it and they're just not, walking in it, right? And so I'm like, okay, fine, like if this is what we're gonna do, we're going, right? And so I normally just be obedient, right? And that's what I did, right? And then I give it back to God. And that's something I had to learn. I had to be like, okay, God, like, all the feelings and emotions that come with this, you knew they won't come, but I given them to you because I don't know why I got them, unless it's something that I still needed to deal with with myself personally, right? And that's the killing of my flesh, that he gave me to deal with, in that test. Right. And so I learned some things. I had to die to some things. I had to be more aware of some things, right? And so then the next test he took me to was another church, right? And I say, okay, Lord. And now, so again, y'all, I'm not a church person. I don't go to church unless he sends me to the church, right? So he sends me to the church, right? And I'm like, okay, Lord, this is a little different, right? This comes with a lot of different feelings and emotions, right? It's a more personal, it's a more personal, emotional situation on this assignment, right? And so I'm like, okay, God, I guess we're gonna do this, right? And so he gave me